Good morning, testies. I trust you had a wonderful weekend. Let's take a look at the roadmap and see what 3.7 has in store for us, which should be coming out if they continue its trajectory. Probably, let's give it end of next week to Avocado. Let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am Montoya. Let's take a look at the roadmap. There are a couple of new things to talk about, and I know I had a couple of people asking me to do the roadmap last week and the week before, but the reason I kind of held off on that is that, first of all, they moved to the staggered development, which I spoke about in my old video, and the roadmap they had out was kind of bare bones. Everything was being shifted about. But the roadmap they put out at the end of last week is actually pretty well fleshed out here. So I thought we'd take a look, starting with 3.7, see where we stand with that. All right, so 3.7 right here is at 84% completion, up 8% coming along. I'm estimating maybe end of next week for Avocado. We'll see. And a couple of interesting features to draw your attention to. Character customization system version 2. Now, let me be critical for a second here. I think the characters look great in Star Citizen, but I personally am not a big fan of the current character creator system. I know what they're thinking. Like, here's the one person, here's the other person, and now you can mix and match, so you're a mix of the two people. I know what they're getting at in that, and all right, maybe it's just because I had imagined a different system in place. But I'm curious to see what version 2 is, and hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you know, this is Chris Roberts' game, and this is what he wants to do. I'm just thinking to the character creation in Eve, which I think is spectacular. I mean, you can take any small aspect of the face and stretch and bring it together, bring it up and down. There's so much customization in that. I really liked that system they had. But look, this is its own animal, and if this is a system that they all agreed upon, then hey, I'm willing to give it a shot. So version 2, let's see what it brings. Looking forward to seeing what that is. So caves, rocky caves. Why is everyone so excited for rocky caves? They are asking. Well, that's a good question, because on its own, I wouldn't think it's anything special. I mean, it does look very cool. But why are people excited for rocky caves? Well, we're hungry for new things and new game loops in the game. And one of the things that Rocky Caves do is a new game loop, and this ties into the FPS mining. In fact, let's drop by the roadmap over here, and we'll pop this open. So here we are, currently in polishing FPS mining. It will be part of the gameplay now, where you'll be able to scan, I guess, a planet, or just go explore a cave system, find a very cool mineral deposit, pull out your little tool, and mine that, and then take that and sell it. So great spot for ambush with an NPC or some PvP type ambush where you are defending some resources maybe and someone coming in trying to get it. And add some game loops in there. I think it's an interesting concept to explore once it's in. And the caves themselves do look beautiful. Procedural generation, they've gone to set that up. Oh, while we're here on this side over here, can you see what I'm looking at? Just a second. Let me remove my face. There we go. Now you can see more. Mission sharing. So important, because you are running a bounty mission, or you are running a transport mission, and you want to take a friend with you, you can now share in the profits from that, encouraging people to play together. So not only do you have assistance in combat if you need it, now you have someone actually sharing in the profits of the mission, which is sorely needed. We had it in the past, but was kind of removed. Personal commodity inventory. This one is going to cause a little bit of butthurt. I think we're kind of spoiled at the moment, because you can go and buy yourself 5, 10, 15 railguns and store them on you. So if you die in the game, you lose whatever weapon you were holding in your hand at the time. No problem. You simply pull out another one magically, which exists on your back or wherever it is in nanotechnology. Well, I'm making it up. There's no nanotechnology. But the issue is now, with the personal commodity inventory coming in, if you have 2 rifles on your back, that's it. That's what you have. If you have a pistol on your hip, that's what you have. At least I think that's where it's going. Correct me if I'm wrong. But no more will there be an ability to store 15 rifles magically on your person. The personal commodity inventory will mean you have to carry a huge-ass backpack in test colors to store your stuff. This is mostly meant, I think, for the mining, the FPS mining, and the harvestables, which you go on a planet and you pick tomatoes, I think, and you store the tomatoes. But I do believe this will also cover the weapons part, where you won't be able to carry an unlimited amount of weapons on you magically. So this will affect gameplay in a bit, and I suspect there'll be people crying about it. Speaking of harvestables, there it is, picking these strange alien tomatoes. What was the Simpson episode with the tobacco and the tomato? Tobacco? Because that looks like a tobacco plant to me. And you'll be able to store this, I guess, and then sell them at stations. Another interesting game loop to go farming if you're into that. Ship rentals, IFCS proximity assist. All right. Let me give you an unpopular opinion here. I did not have too much of an issue with the hover mode in its current state. The one small annoyance I had, because I use a HOTAS with pedals, is that I would have to switch from the stick being yaw to the stick being roll to make hover mode work properly, because rolling a ship would make it work better. That was the one annoyance I had with hover mode, because suddenly you slow down and I have to hit a switch and I have to change the way I fly a little bit. So not ideal, but at the same time it wasn't terrible. Not as bad as some people were screaming about on Spectrum. I don't know why they were so upset about it. Look, it needed polishing. So IFCS proximity assist is the polishing that's coming into the hover mode. I don't think they are completely removing hover mode, but this is a way just to fine tune it. So I'm really curious to see how that pans out and what that's going to do. Again, let me be critical for a second. They've overcomplicated something which should not have to be that complicated. Elite Dangerous does a perfectly fine job with the way the ships react when you slow down. Like thrusters, everything slows down, and there's nice smooth landings and a sense of mass with the way Elite does it. Why that you pick a hover mode and all these IFCS adjustments and whatever they're doing now? Look, we'll see. Let's see how it turns out. This is going to be an interesting patch 3.7 in that sense. Weapon attachments 3.0. Oh, this is cool. Now, I'm a huge fan of suppressed weapons. And you will be able to put suppressors on your pistols, at least, maybe rifles too. There's no stealth gameplay in the game right now, but come on, it's tactical. You do need suppressed weapons for the coolness factor. Fight me. In the game, not in real life. Let's go back to the roadmap here for a second. All right, was that the big deal? Anything else in 3.7? Oh, okay. There are some interesting weapons here. This thing, the Hedeby Salvo Frag pistol. Very cool looking gun indeed. A lot of people were freaking out over the grip, saying, how stupid is that grip? But if you know your Olympic pistols, go watch the Olympics. See what kind of grips they use. That is the kind of grip they use in Olympic pistols. So, interesting design choice that they brought that over to this concept here. I'm curious to see how this performs. It does look very sleek, very different from everything we have at the moment. And the other weapon was a Kronag laser cannon. Okay, well, we'll throw in a ship and see what that does. Other than that, that concludes what 3.7 brings. And let's take a very quick look at what the rest of the roadmap is showing us at 3.8. Moving along slowly there. You know, there's a lot to dig into. Let's do this at another point. But what I want to point out also here is because of the new staggered development they're doing, once 3.7 is out to Avocado, what you will see is 3.9 getting more action than it usually would in the past. 3.8 is going to start obviously accelerating, but 3.9 will at the same time, because they now have staggered the development, and curious to see how this pans out in the long term for them, which they insist is going to be much better. So was there anything interesting to touch on there? I can't think of it at the moment. But one thing to do before we close off here is go back to what Xylo had posted there. And now the Hull C and the Cutlass Blue, for that matter. Well, the Hull C is a disappointment. People want to see that come out sooner than later, but there's a problem. Work on the ship continues, but its release is being blocked by a few tech prerequisites, including physics refactor that needs to be submitted to our game dev stream. All right, so the problem they had with the Hull C had to do with the same technology that's going to be used for ship-to-ship docking. And that's the way you transport the cargo. So that has been delayed. As he goes to say, additional work from the engine team that will create scalable and multiple physics grids. We are working to continue on the Hull C by prioritizing its needs for Squadron 42, The work we plan to finalize in Q4, not quite ready for a PU release, which is why they moved it. Now, ship-to-ship docking. You guys have all seen videos, we've all done it. We're trying to bring our ships close together, but there's no way to dock them together, and that is being worked upon. It is also being related to the physics refactor mentioned above, so all this has been put on hold. Some kind of rifle and mission givers, nothing more than that. So watch out for these posts from Xylo, and he will go on to explain what is happening in the roadmaps in more depth, which I think is a great feature. Thank you for that, Xylo. With that, let's wrap up this video. I have a couple of videos to make now, so stay tuned. If you enjoy this content, as always, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Your comments below are appreciated. I will see you in the next one.